Friday. It's Friday, y'all. Y'all know what that means. It means y'all need to sit back, relax, get you a sandwich, get you some Kool-Aid, grape or red, mind you, and listen to the Get Snap podcast. It is I, your boy, Darnell Sparrow, your bad Superman. He is the notorious Antoine Smooth. What is going on?
What's going on, man?
Man, I hope everybody enjoyed the Juneteenth. If you took that time off, if you didn't, we all celebrated on your behalf, but
And yes, people, it is a holiday. Stop asking me that. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but I keep getting asked this question. Is Juneteenth a holiday? What is Juneteenth? Look, it's a holiday. Now, some people get off work, some people don't. Okay? Now, where I'm from, where I'm in, they finally let us off on MLK Day. So,
whoa.
finally, after all these years, So, yes, Juneteenth is a holiday.
Yeah, so you was like, what is Juneteenth? Well, Juneteenth commemorates the day on June 19, 1865, when a Union general read orders in Galveston, Texas, stating all enslaved people in the state were free, according to a federal law. So everybody knew but Texas.
Everybody knew but Texas.
Big as that state is. Somebody didn't get the memo?
Somebody didn't get the memo.
And yes, it is a holiday. Yes, we got it in 2021. But it's a federal holiday, the paid holiday. It took us long enough, but let's roll with it.
Right.
But today is, being that it's Friday, there's another special day today. Courtesy of your boy, is myself and Mrs. Bad's 16th wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah, that's right. Congratulations.
That's so, because Juneteenth was her birthday, and now we have today, June 21st, is our anniversary. So me and my wallet are having a conversation right now.
Right. See, y'all got what you call that old school marriage. The people that been married 60, 70 years. That old school.
Yeah, because if you stay married over 10 years these days, you doing something.
Yeah.
Especially if you black.
Yeah, that's that grandmama, granddaddy, old school marriage.
That's right. We get on each other's nerves, but we gonna get on each other's nerves together.
Right. They make those jokes about trying to remind each other to take y'all medication and making sure y'all dentures is not in the same glass.
Yeah. And if you make it to that time frame,
right,
you doing something right. But yeah, see, had to do with birthday, got to do with anniversary, and yes, I'm still doing the show on my anniversary. It's early, I got time. Calm down, people.
Right.
I got the day. I got the day planned out, so we good.
Cause they like right now. They said, "Man, Superman, you supposed to be on your anniversary. Don't worry about the show."
I got this thing that most people don't know how to use. It's called reservations.
Right.
So I got time, and it's gonna be work that time. But since y'all so worried about time, that means I may cut y'all questions because y'all brought us questions. But we ain't done a Q&A in a while. You send me all these questions. But I want to get through them because I want to know what's on their mind. Right. I want y'all trying to gonk us, trying to challenge us.
Yeah.
Oh no. And these are some interesting ones, so we gonna jump right on it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. First question. Where did WWE go wrong with Too Cool?
Oh, where did they go wrong?
Yes, where did they go wrong?
All right. Let's backtrack a little bit. At first, they was known as Too Much.
Yep.
Okay. With it was Scott Taylor, Brian Christopher. Okay. And then later on they became too cool. Now, rumor was that according to some people I know, they were talking about it was supposed to be PG-13 wrong.
Really?
Yes. It was supposed to be JC and Wolfie's. They're supposed to be too cool. They were still going to be PG-13, but they were supposed to do the gimmick, the dancing and all that, and the Rikishi and all that.
Right.
Yeah. It was supposed to be them. But, you heard the stories of that,
Yes.
And so they gave it to Brian and Scotty. Now, at first I was just laughing. We've seen this before. We seen this with PG-13. They really started this trend, of the hip hop. They from the hood. So these folks is from the hood too. So you mean tell me that Scotty and Brian is from the hood? This is before Rikishi joined. Okay.
Yeah, what Jim Ross say at Survivor Series? He said, "Too cool, how about two jackasses?"
Two jackasses, yeah. At first they was heels at first, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they were heels.
And then I guess when Rikishi, I think they saved Rikishi, if I remember, and then they started to do the dance, But I don't see nothing wrong, really. I think when they was heels, they were wrong. It was wrong for them to be heels.
Let me jump in, because you said the one thing that you said in the beginning. You said the one thing that went wrong with Too Cool. You said it at the beginning. There was too much first.
There was too much, right?
When they were too much, and then you repackaged it, it didn't hit at first. So they had to turn them babyface. They had to.
Because hip hop group.
Now in PG-13's case, had that story would have stuck, it probably would have worked because they're better heels.
Yeah.
But Brian and
cocky, arrogant, yeah.
Even when there were too much. If they would have kept them like that, that's fine. But when you try to convert them into some street dudes, knowing what they were prior, that's where they made the mistake. Now, had they bought it in as Too Cool, would have been different. Hell, you could have had PG-13 as their proteges.
Yeah.
But speaking, we gonna stick with Too Cool. Now, this is more in your wheelhouse. You probably can answer this better than me. Do you think Too Cool 2 was a rib on Brian Christopher?
Was a rib? It could be.
Now let's jump back.
Yeah.
Because Too Cool 2 was who? Wasn't one of them called Mr. Compulsive?
Oh yeah, one of them was Mr. Compulsive, and the other one was Flex. He was known as Flex Bagwell, but now they Tim and Flex, they reunited, so they on Memphis Hill. They back together. That's Too Cool too. And of course, the blessing for Brian, of course.
Right.
God rest his soul.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Too Cool 2 actually wrestle Too Cool?
Yes. It was for the name, if I'm correct.
Because I know they had an issue because I know they were big. Then they turned heel on Brian. And I remember Scotty coming in, but I don't remember the rest. I don't think I was here yet when that happened. No, I think I was here, but I wasn't watching Memphis Wrestling as much. I was here. I had probably just moved here, but I remember they had it. I remember they had a match. I can't remember, was it on TV or was it at the Mid-South Coliseum? Uh-oh. Think we lost him. Let's give it a second. Hold on. Let's get him back on the line real quick. But yeah, I sure remember that scenario with Too Cool, Tim and Flake. But in some cases, they were trying a little bit too hard. We got you back. I think you had yourself on mute on hold.
Yeah, that was I had pushed the wrong button. I was trying to switch it around. So, yeah.
Yeah, but
Anyway, sorry about that.
yeah, but I was saying,
Was
Too Cool 2? You think they were trying a little bit too hard?
I think so. They probably try a little too hard, you know. They come up with that's a business dog and all that, you know. Yeah, it was funny, you know.
Yeah, it was.
The way they say it. Them dudes is from Dyersburg, you know.
Yes.
and if country accent.
And if anybody ever been to Dyersburg, let me say something. We've been to shows in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Yes.
There is nothing hood about Dyersburg, Tennessee.
No.
When it gets dark in Dyersburg, Tennessee, nobody's outside. It's like a ghost town.
Oh yeah, it's dead quiet.
It is dead quiet now, but when it get dark. So, because I know we used to go to the Powerpole Arena out there, and we before we get back on the interstate, you better get out of there. Because if something was to happen, that's it.
Right.
Let's see what we got. We're going to stick with some Memphis questions. What made the USWA Unified title special?
The way, not only the wrestlers holding it, but it was the stipulations that came with it.
Okay,
You know,
speak on it.
You got lose the lead town for unified titles and hair versus hair matches for unified title. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They mixed and matched certain stipulations with it.
Hey, you tell you what made it special? And you talked about talent. A lot of talent got big because of that. A lot of people you never thought would be a world champion. Ahmed Johnson, Owen Hart. You know, guys like that were able to become a world champion courtesy of Memphis. And even though Jerry Lawler won it a bunch of times, he wasn't afraid to drop it.
Yep, Tatanka.
And Tatanka came here and was a heel. So that told me that was his test drive. The only thing he couldn't do was talk on the mic. He was a good heel here.
Because this was, like you said, it was a test run for that $1 million corporation.
I mean, you gotta think about it. He was one thing you can say about Lawler, and I don't know if you tend to this. You've never heard nobody say he buried somebody.
Because he wouldn't drop anybody. Let me get Reggie B, but when you lose it to Reggie, that's saying something.
Yes.
Reggie B fine.
And you know we love Reggie B.
We love Reggie B. He a legend here. But when you drop it to somebody like him, that says a lot.
But
You know, the late Snowman, God rest his soul. Another one.
Junkyard Dog, Butch Reed. I mean, we can go Master Payne, aka
Master
Undertaker,
Payne.
King Cobra.
King
You
Cobra.
talk about Snowman. Yeah. I mean, you've had some folks, Kamala, and I'm just talking about the black champion. Coco.
Think about it.
Kamala won it multiple times. Coco won it multiple times. Papa Shango, Savage, and no, he ain't black, but you get on him. I mean, Razor Ramon. Now correct me, was this the fake Razor or Sky Hall? This was 95.
95. No, that was the real Razor. Yeah, Scott Hall, yeah, the real Razor won the unified title, yeah. But see, the fake Razor didn't show up to 96.
Right.
After they left for WCW.
I mean, look at all these. I mean, Sid Vicious, Jerry, and you got Hall of Famers and number legends. And people, Ty Champion.
Right, right.
You
Yeah,
got about tag champion. What was that team that was the Patriots? The former United States Tag Team Champion left when he WCW. He came to the USWA and became the Unified Champion.
So what does that say? Right. He and everybody was unified champ down here.
But here was the thing. When they did it for a reason. Like the Dragon Master, horrible gimmick. That gimmick was terrible.
Yeah, the Dragon Master. Oh yes.
That gimmick was terrible. He won it, and you got to think about it. Papa Shango won it as Papa Shango and Soul Taker.
And the Soul Taker, yeah.
You go down that list of people that won that unified title.
Pain was a tag team down here for a little while.
I mean,
remember that?
Yep. I mean, you got legends, Hall of Famers. I didn't even remember Ricky Morton winning it in '92.
Oh yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, he lost it a week later, but he did it.
He won it, yeah.
He lost it to Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert, yeah.
I mean, just these names alone. And like I said, that's what made it special. Because people that won it, if you went down that list, they're still unified champions.
You would never expect.
Some of them you would never expect, but it was always, the story was to get rid of Lawler. Burt Prentice. Majority of that was Burt Prentice. Was bringing people in to get rid of Lawler.
Yep. At first it was Jimmy Hart in the 80s.
And I'm glad, and you segue to my next question. Yeah, that's how good y'all are. We could talk about something. I look down at the question, and we could roll right into it. Because outside of Jimmy Hart, who was the best wrestler, best manager in Memphis?
I would have to say Jimmy Hart.
No, say outside of Jimmy. Right, outside of Jimmy Hart. Yeah, outside of Jimmy Hart. Who was the best man? Who was the best manager?
No, it's just any organization, right?
Out of in the USWA.
Oh, USWA.
Yeah, outside of Jimmy Hart.
I can put Burt Prentice in there.
Now let me drill.
That's something to think about.
Now let me quiz you. Now, would you take Burt Prentice or Christopher Honey Love? I got swung. Yeah. Now you remember that one, did you?
No, yeah. Now I was with Christopher Love. See, he could manage the women. See, when you Christopher Love, he was managing the women, you know. Like Candy Divine and all them girls came in. He was managing them. So he was Christopher Love. But see, when he managing the men, see, he Burt Prentice.
Now let's look at the managers. We had Burt Prentice. We had Jimmy Hart.
Yep.
Jim Cornette.
Yep.
When he wore that, who was over the all-white suit. Now we forget Scott Bowden.
Scott Bowden, Richard Lee.
Richard Lee, Moondogs.
Yeah. Now, I have to give it to Scott Bowden. Scott Bowden was hated. Nobody could stand him.
Yes, he was. When you say he was what, Bobby Bowden's he was what, Bobby Bowden's nephew?
He was Bobby Bowden's nephew.
Yes.
Brandon Baxter.
Yeah.
He was hated too.
Now that's long hair Brandon Baxter.
Yeah, long hair Brandon. Not the powerful Brandon with the bald head. No. I'm talking we going hard like long blonde hair Brandon. Yeah. Downtown Bruno.
Downtown Bruno. Oh yeah. I think
he's the greatest out of me.
Yeah, I said that is. Yeah, I think we answered that with Downtown Bruno. Now this
with the Stud Stable.
Now this was an interesting question. Would you prefer Dusty Rhodes as a wrestler or a booker?
That's a good question. Yes, Dusty could entertain the crowd. He could talk on the microphone. You know, he created stars. You know, he created people like Johnny B and EDP and all that. You hear praise from them.
He created stars. He created pay-per-views. We never had war games that won for Dusty Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
he was a good talent in the ring. You know, he connected with the people so much. It's hard, man. That's a hard question.
Yeah, it is a hard question.
That's a hard question, man.
If I had to choose, like I said, if I had to do it present day, I would take Dusty as a booker. Why? Because people will listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
People will listen to what Dusty Rhodes had to say, and he knows. You know, I mean, look at NXT as a prime example of that.
One of the forefathers of it. Yeah.
And yet NXT. Now, like I said, if you talking about from an era standpoint, like you said, okay, if this was the '80s, what would you prefer? Of course, I'm taking the wrestler.
Wrestler Dusty. Yeah.
Now, if you in present tense, and if I had to choice to take Dusty as a wrestler or a booker, I'm definitely gonna use him as a booker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna like here. Here's go. Do your thing.
Because I believe if he was a wrestler today, he would outshine them as far as talking.
Oh yeah,
as far as,
you get that '70s, '80s Dusty today.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Now somebody asked this question. I know we talked about it before, but they wanted to know, what are your thoughts on having wrestling shows in high school gyms?
There's nothing wrong with that. We started like that.
Exactly. We started in a car garage. Outside of that car garage.
We started in a car garage, so y'all think about that. Car dealerships.
We did
high school gym. That's nothing.
Yes, we did a transmission shop.
The transmission shop.
We done a transmission shop. We did it outside. It was hot. I mean, we did, like you said, we did first choice auto sales.
Mm-hmm.
With maybe 10, 15 people, but we still put it on CPN 17.
And people came and saw it.
So did. There's nothing.
They couldn't help but to look at it. You're out in the open.
Right. There's nothing. I mean, I remember one show we did at a it was like a community center. It was outside.
The Ed Rice Community Center?
No, it was no. I can't remember what it was, but I know we did a show to community, and we just had the ring outside in the field. Matter of fact, we did one in the neighborhood right outside the church. Outside the church.
Yeah.
We did one in front of one of our wrestlers' houses.
Yep. Yeah.
So we done some places though. A high school gym, nothing wrong with it. Especially if you got the community involved. I mean, I get it. Wildcat Sports do it all the time, and they draw.
That's what's good about Wildcat. Yeah.
They draw.
I like places like that. That's much more intimate.
I bet if you put it at a place, that can draw attention. You advertise it, and if your presentation is great, how can be a great spot.
Yeah.
By how you present it. Now, if you talking about, and I think what they was talking about is, like a lot of wrestlers who's been around a while, like when they get to a certain phase in their life, they're not in WWE, they're not in AEW, not in TNA, but they start doing high school gyms. So I'll still do that. Daryl Lawler still do it, and he likes it.
Yeah, because it's a smaller space, right. It's much more intimate.
I mean, like you go to the shows when they was doing shows at the Omen. I mean, they drew okay crowds, but they wasn't packing the Omen up. If they just did everybody on the if they did everybody on the floor for the people they had, it would have been a better picture. But they had the floor people, and then they had the people in the regular seat.
Yeah, it was just
and from what I hear, they about to revamp that whole area. There was some talks about remodeling the Omen, doing something with the school and the colleges over there. They about to put a lot of money around that area. We probably won't even recognize the Omen. It won't. I don't even gonna be the Omen anymore, from what I was reading. Yeah, they about to revamp. It's gonna be like a whole sports complex area over there in the next few years.
Yeah, we're nothing but a
Mid-South Coliseum. That's it. Let's see. Where we at? Will Power and Glory have a better run if they run WCW?
I believe so. I would definitely believe so because I can tell you right now who they can face. You got Midnight Express, the Rock, especially with the Rock and Roll. I can see them in the Rock and Roll going there.
Yep.
I can see the Midnight.
I mean, you had, think about it, depending on what period it was, you had the Steiners.
The Steiners. Mm-hmm.
And that was what, 92?
90, yeah.
About 92, 93? So you had...
You're talking about Power Glory.
Yeah.
No, that was 1990.
That was 90? So yeah,
Roman turned on Jimmy Powers.
Yep, so you talk about 90. So you had the Steiners, you had Doom, you had the Midnight Express, you had the Southern Boys.
Mm-hmm.
The nasty boy, I think did they just leave? No, I don't think they got there yet.
They was off and on.
Yeah, they was off and on. The Road Warriors were still around.
Yeah, the Road Warriors. Mm-hmm.
You had some tag teams. You had Pillman and the Z-Man, Freebirds, Pillman and the Z-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they would have had to go. Plus, you had the World Tag and the U.S. Tag. So if anything, they would have won the U.S. Tag title. And I guarantee you, know who would have been a good manager for them? Gary Hart.
Gary Hart, yeah.
That
still have JTEX Corporation.
Yep. Gary Hart would have fit them perfect.
Muda, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You got your tough guys. You got your pretty boy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause because Al Perez was his pretty boy.
Yeah.
Dude, the Latin Power and Glory and Al Perez together.
Mm-hmm.
That would have worked for me.
Showing off. Especially with him and Paul Roma.
Yes.
They'll get along beautifully.
Yes. And that could have easily turned into a feud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all hot on these questions, and we got another good question. What are your thoughts on repackaging wrestlers?
It could be a blessing and a curse with that. You have to do it right. If you're going to repackage somebody, it has to make sense on why. Perfect example with the Y6. All them folks is repackaged except for Uncle Howdy. Nikki Cross is repackaged. Dexter Loomis is repackaged. Now I think Eric Rowan is repackaged. Joe Gacy. You see, all them guys are repackaged.
Yeah,
you have to do it right.
Right, because ask somebody like Kevin Nash. Ask somebody like Brutus Beefcake. How many times they had to get repackaged before they got it right?
Right.
And that's just two out of name. I mean,
we go on and on about repackaging, yeah.
Like I said, if you go repackage somebody, like you said, one, it have to make sense. I'm not big on the packaging the same person over and over. Barry Darso's another one.
Oh, jeez.
That's the one thing I don't like.
He was my favorite reincarnation of Barry Darso. I said it's always going to be Smash for me.
Right, and Matt Bourne.
Mm-hmm.
He had a few. Because he was Big Josh. He was what? He was born again. He was Maniac Matt Bourne back in the day. Like I said, I know they trying to keep in accordance with the company how they want to run business, but I'm not big on the packaging the person over and over and over and over, because as you learn, when it comes to promos, if that person's followed you, that person gonna bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
So remember when CM Punk did it to Kevin Nash?
Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you think Matt Cardona was a repackage? Of course, I believe so. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona—that's two different beings right there.
The Matt Cardona.
Jericho. Yeah, no.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But Matt Cardona, yeah.
I think Matt Cardona found himself when he was at WWE.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's. Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Hikuleo possibly being called Taller Tonga?
Yeah. All these Tongas. If you're gonna do that with Tonga and Tonga Loa, you might well call him Hikuleo still. I mean, all these Tonga names.
They think they're slick. You gonna call him Taller Tonga? I know he's about 6'8". We know he's tall.
Right.
But,
Taller. Taller.
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Oh, but they think they slick.
Yeah, y'all can't play with our intelligence, man. Come
No,
on.
but they trying though.
Yeah. Taller, Tonga, no.
What are your thoughts on
Hikuleo.
What are your thoughts on Kalani Jordan being the inaugural women's NXT North American champion?
I was surprised at first when I saw that. I mean, I ain't got a problem. I see what Shawn Michaels doing with it. He want to, he don't want the same people, wearing the belt. He don't make it obvious.
Right.
Him and Triple H in the same boat as far as, putting the people on edge, right? And so giving it to her like, whoa, I didn't expect that. They like to do stuff like that. So with her being the first champion, like I said, I ain't got no problem with it. We'll see where this goes. She ain't gonna be no transitional champion.
I hope not.
She gonna hold that belt for a while.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly she's put in the work, and I think she earned it.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Should WWE try the Battle Bowl concept?
Got to be the right situation.
Now, that's for those of you who don't know. Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery, was basically a tag team event where you don't know who your partner's going to be. So you could team up with your best friend. You could team up with your worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
But the object was to get to Battle Bowl. It was a Battle Royal. One becomes Battle Bowl champion. Now, if they do something like that, it needs to involve Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
And NXT. Mm-hmm.
It needs to go that route. I think they should give it a shot at least once.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll hurt to give it a shot at least once. See where it goes.
Trying to do like them little special events, like when they do when worlds collide.
There you go.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. See, that could be a worlds collide thing.
Yep. That's it. When Dan Severn was in WWE, if you had to book him, how would you have booked him?
Who that?
Dan Severn.
Dan Severn. Oh.
Let me jump on that one.
Yeah.
They started off correctly. They brought him in, had Jim Cornette as his manager, and they had him come in with all his belts. He was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the Super Fight Champion, all the UFC belts, and just had him just ramsacking folks.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped the ball when they didn't do the Ken Shamrock feud.
Which people wanted to see.
What people wanted to see. What they should have done, two things, if it was me, this is what I would have done. Like I said, I would have brought him in, wiped the floor with all the mid carders.
Mm-hmm.
Get the feud with Shamrock. Then eventually have them two team up against each other. Team up with each other, sorry. Have Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock together. And I would put the tag titles on them. That's how I would have booked it. Cause they made when Dan Severn started doing like the Shotgun Saturday nights and all that.
That was a wasted opportunity.
It was wasted. And then he dropped out the Brawl for All. Even though he already spent the money.
Yeah.
They had something. They had something right in front of their face. Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn, same company. That could have easily been a WrestleMania.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, here's a funny one. Was anything good about the WCW Nitro and Thunder video games?
Now, probably the Nintendo 64 games were pretty good.
Yeah, Revenge.
PlayStation, yeah.
Now,
Depends on the system, really.
Well, we're talking about the Nitro and Thunder game that was like for the PS1, the first PlayStation.
PS1.
And the I believe Nintendo 64 had it.
But they had WCW and WO Revenge.
Yeah, but we talking
WCW versus NWO.
Right.
Yeah.
But this one we talking about specifically the Nitros and Thunder. There's only one thing that was good about those two games, and that was the rants.
It kind of reminds me of Super Brawl.
Yeah, when you hit the button, let them talk. That was the only thing good about that game, because I had both of them. Yeah, them games are trash. The button configuration is hard. Then you put those stupid codes in. Thunder, you got more wrestlers when you put the code in. Actually, wrestlers, managers, probably some managers. But that Nitro one,
yeah,
you just had pretty much, they just threw people together. I mean, they had a Navy sailor in there. I remember that.
Only probably decent one. I know when they fought up WCW versus the World. Remember that one?
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like those Nitros and Thunders, yeah.
Yeah, those two. The only thing good was just watching the little video and let them talk. That was it.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. What wrestler did you see live you never thought you would see?
Let's see. Let's think about that one.
For me?
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, for me?
Go ahead.
For me, I would have to say Jushin Thunder Liger.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
I never thought. Matter of fact, I never thought I'd see anybody from New Japan. Liger, Tanahashi, Naito, Scott Norton, even though he was retired by then. Way retired. Baby, I never thought I'd see a New Japan, anybody from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But seeing Liger, knowing at that time in 2019 he was on the verge of retiring, I believe he was in the 6-man at the time, but I got to see him. So yeah, that was big for me.
I think the one I thought I'd never see was Muda. Muda, during this is when Muda was starting his NWO run.
Okay.
When they were coming to the Coliseum, because he was there at the Coliseum one time. I never thought I saw Muda, because Muda was the one for me. For Japanese wrestling.
Yes, my all-time favorite.
See him and Chono, and especially Masahiro Chono. He was another one that I liked.
Yeah, that's a wrestler I'm kind to the point that I didn't see was Muda.
Masahiro Chono.
Muda. Yeah, Muda was my favorite all-time Japanese wrestler. I liked
it in NWO Japan. That was very underrated.
Oh yeah. I said, but I got to see the Liger, so I never thought I'd see him. So that was cool. Let me see where we at. Do you think the WWE held Slick back as a manager?
I think so. Slick was too good. The only success he had was with the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
After that, it went downhill. Nothing against the Power and Glory and Martel, And then what really went down when he managed Kamala.
Yes, when he became Reverend Slick.
Reverend Slick, that was it. I said, yeah, he done.
I said, you wearing hats and that, now your afro tight.
Right.
I'm like,
nah. I'll always go back against when he managed Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov.
Yes.
He had potential then, like from that run to the Twin Towers. That was his best. After that, no.
Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? What they waiting on?
Yeah, what are they waiting on, man? He was in the most important feud in the late 80s.
Yes.
That was the Mega Powers.
Yes.
The Twin Towers were a part of that. They were pretty much the sole reason that them two broke up.
Exactly.
And Slick was, remember when on Brother Love show where Hogan was on there? Slick and Boss Man came out there, right?
Right.
And they was talking about how Hogan is out of control. He needs to learn self-control. And so, Hogan insulted Slick and blah, blah, blah. Boss Man came and, he took the half of the security rail and cuffed him and just beat him, with the nightstick and all that stuff. There was a vocal part of that. Him and Slick and Akeem, which was a one-man game for that, but I digress.
Yep.
But he was a part of that. Just that alone should be Hall of Fame worthy. He's a great manager. Even before he came to WWE, he was manager. I've seen it. So yeah, I don't understand what happened. What's going on? Bobby Heenan's in it. Paul Heyman just not got in there. Sensational Sherry's in there.
Yep.
Why not Slick? Slick was a critical part of that. Of the success.
Yeah, that's just something I just never understood. What are they?
He was black.
What are they waiting on?
I've seen a black manager. Yeah. He was like the pioneer of the black manager. So I don't understand it.
Let's see what we got. Hey, this is an interesting one, and I'm assuming they asking this because of what's going on the Who Killed WCW on Vice.
Excellent, by the way. That was excellent.
So they want to know from us.
I give kudos to The Rock for that. That was a great documentary.
Right. So the people want to know from us: do we think Hulk Hogan stopped a lot of pushes because of his creative control?
Yes and no. And the no part is, some of those wrestlers want to do what they want to do anyway. So half of those folks had creative control.
Right. And that's why I think Bischoff kind of failed.
Yeah.
You gave too many people too much creative control of their character. If you're going to do that, you got to at least put some limits on it.
Yeah.
Because Starrcade 97, you can't tell me that was somewhat of a burial to Sting.
Right, because if you look back then, see, you didn't think of that. You thought that was the greatest Starrcade because of, Hogan and Sting, Sting beat Hogan and, stuff like that. But you look back now, you like, And you could tell Sting wasn't into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You look back, you didn't think of it then. You think, oh, that's just his demeanor because of his character. No, we look back now, they're like, man, you know what? Sting wasn't into this at all.
Because he knew.
Yeah.
As with that phrase, that ain't gonna work for me, brother.
Yeah. Right.
You know they know they say it kind of as a joke, but that's what it was.
Well, what it was, right.
Yeah, like I said, that's one of those, you gotta ask yourself, okay, which period we talking about? Because he did play that quick control card a lot, because ain't no way Broody Beefcake would have got a world title shot as the Butcher.
Now that's true. That's true.
Now,
that is true.
Now on a Nitro, or something like that. Well, Nitro wasn't out then, but I would have put it like on TV or put it like on a special event. I would have put it this way. I would have put it on a pay-per-view. I just wouldn't have put it at Starrcade.
Right, you put, and then you got your boys like Earthquake and stuff coming in there, and you know, got Kevin Sullivan doing the Three Faces of Fear thing. You know, at the time, you know, that was it led up into the Dungeon of Doom, and it led up to the Four Horsemen and them coming together with, you know, calling it the Alliance to End Hulkamania.
Yeah, and let's go back to that. So you're gonna tell me two people beat up a whole group
Yeah, it took the Horsemen and the Dungeon of Doom.
that had Z Gangster
Z Gangster
and the Ultimate Solution.
Understand why? Yeah. You had the Ultimate Solution
and they still won.
and still won. You had two big, the Ultimate Solution
And that
and Z Gangster
and that they dropped the ball on that too, because they could have really rolled with that.
ran with the Z
They
Gangster.
could have ran with that.
Yeah, I'm glad Bobby Heenan put that in perspective. He said, wait a minute, we know this man. You know, he kind of reminds people like, you know, Hogan know this man too well.
Yep.
You know, so they could have worked out. I'm thinking about it now, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, because uncensored, yeah, they made all of them look like punks. All of them.
Yeah.
Now here's the
Just
interesting.
think about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, think about it. Think about the Z Gang. They could have rekindled that rivalry
Easy.
easily.
Because really, you could have put Hogan. Back then, because remember, at one time it was Hogan and Beefcake against Savage and Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could have,
Yeah.
you just could have had Hogan and Savage against Butcher and Z Gangster. Flip it.
Right. Now he was what, Zodiac then?
Yeah,
So
he,
could've
yeah, he was
Zodiac.
He would have been Zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
You flip it.
And then here's another creative part. Remember they talked about how Zodiac was the mole of the Dungeon of Doom?
Yeah.
So they said really he wasn't with it. He was just pretty much the inside guy. So Hogan could know what's going on.
Yeah, he was a spy. That's all he was. He was a spy for Hulkamania.
Yeah.
That's it. Now here's the good one. And I had to think about this question.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, was Arn Anderson a better leader of the Four Horsemen than Ric Flair?
If you think about it, do you really consider Ric Flair a leader of them? He didn't
No.
give the orders. If
No.
you really think about it,
No, that's why I said.
he did. If more of authority figure, yeah, Arn would be, sure.
Arn was the better leader.
Rick wasn't a leader. He was just
Ric Flair. He was an influence.
Influence.
He was more of an influence, but he wasn't a leader. Because every time Arn talked, he never cut Arn off.
He never cut Arn.
He never cut Arn off when Arn talked. He let Arn drop that knowledge.
Oh yeah.
And then when Arn took over, when he had Mongo, Benoit, Malenko, and all them, he was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they just don't know, but he didn't want to run it back. He made that happen.
Audible. Who did the audible? It was Rick. Rick pretty much did the audibles.
Yeah. So
when Arn called the play and run, and Rick did the audible too.
So definitely, to me, Arn was the better leader.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, you wouldn't be an enforcer for nothing.
Right. He's the enforcer for a reason. Yeah.
Here's a good one. Like I said, we got a lot. Who had the better feud? There's three of them. You gotta think on this one. And these are different time frames too. Who had the better feud? Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, or Matt and Jeff Hardy? That's a no-brainer for me.
I know. I'm about to say. I think it's mine would have been the Ricos again. Say that again.
It's Ricky and Robert.
Ricky and Robert. Okay.
Shawn and Marty.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Shawn and Marty.
Hands down.
Hands down. Shawn and Marty.
And let me tell y'all why.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, because one, we never would have got the Heartbreak Kid. Number one. If they would never got, we have never would have got the Heartbreak Kid.
No.
That's all I need to say. We would never got the Heartbreak Kid. We would have never got I'm Too Sexy for This Crowd. We never would have got the Sexy Boy theme song.
The people, the Sexy Red, even, to this day, these people still sing it. And he had Sexy Red doing it, that says a lot.
I'm like, now Sean, we love you. You haven't been the Heartbreak Kid in a minute.
And he never dropped that name.
Nope.
He's supposed to be the Heartbreak Kid. He never dropped it.
Nope.
So that song is still relevant to you, even though you're in your almost 60 talking about you a sexy boy. You ain't nobody's boy toy.
For real.
So yeah. It resonates with you.
Yeah,
People, yeah.
Let's see. What went wrong? I like these what went wrong questions tonight. What went wrong with the Sting and Black Scorpion feud?
It was too many, I guess they couldn't, I want to say they couldn't decide on who would be the Black Scorpion. Because from what I heard, it was supposed to be Al Perez.
Right.
Now, I would have loved to see Sting and Al Perez go at it. That's something different, Instead of seeing the Sting and Ric Flair, we've seen that 100 times. So, with somebody fresh, so they saw something in Perez.
Because if you remember, the first time they fought at the Clash of Champions, that was Al Perez in that suit. But when they got to, was it Starrcade?
It was Starrcade. That's when it was revealed.
And it was Ric Flair, and let me tell you what it was. They made it too obvious. I mean, y'all could have.
He was,
the body, and then the whole you couldn't even you could even make the mask not so obvious.
And remember, he got kicked out of the Horsemen the same year.
Yes.
That was February of '90.
He wanted.
That led up to, when supposed to be Wrestle War.
Yeah.
When Sting got hurt, and Luger took his place. Yeah, that's what it was. Really supposed to be Sting and Flair. He supposed to be winning the title then. But Sting, when he was climbing up that cage, he hurt his knee. So that's how Lex Luger got that match for Wrestle War 90.
Right. Yep. And Ric Flair will not, which I disagree with, but I understand his point of view on it. But he will not give up that title to Luger. He wouldn't do it.
They had 3 clashes. They had Capital Combat. They had another one.
Yeah, Capital Combat, Wrestle War.
Wrestle War and another one.
I want to say it wasn't the Bash. But they had so many, it was crazy.
Yeah, the Bash was Sting and Luger and Flair.
I know they had one.
I'll say the Capital.
Because they had
Wrestle War Capital Combat. Yeah.
Let's see. Thoughts on Joe Hendry and NXT?
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not saying I was surprised by it, but the way them folks cheered for Joe Hendry, you thought it was Hulk Hogan back in the 80s again.
Yes. So don't be surprised you see him again. That's a calling. He gonna be in NXT sooner than later. And
that's why they doing that with Jordan as well.
So when they hit that music, he got that big reaction. But he'll be, since they did the way they did him in that battle royal, and he got into it with Shawn Michaels, you think he ain't coming back?
Right. And Shawn, what did Shawn say at the end? That little saying he says, what did Joe Henry say every time? What's that saying? What's that little quote he says?
Who?
Joe Henry.
Oh shit, my brain went left.
He has that quote. He said some sort of quote like "You're welcome," not "You're welcome," but "I believe" or something, you know. And Shawn said the same way. He said the same quote he did when he had left. So yeah, that's definitely gonna. I would love to see that. To see how Shawn interacts with him, and they do some segments together. That would be perfect.
Let's see. Where we at? Is it time? Is it finally time to break up the New Day?
How many times we've been saying this? I think now is now the perfect time. Think about it. Karrion Kross is putting a wedge between them. Now, who is going to be the heel, first of all?
Xavier.
That's the question.
Xavier
Woods?
Xavier Woods will be the heel.
See, Karrion Kross is putting a wedge between them. I think it's finally time, after 100 years.
Because Big E ain't coming back. Because we need to face it. Big E ain't coming back. They're not going to win no more tag belts.
Yes, they don't.
And if anything, I can see Xavier Woods, because right now he's going through that speed tournament to get a title shot.
Yeah.
So he probably going to wind up winning that at some point. That's probably going to be his next singles title.
Right.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, what can they do now? Where else they going to go?
Right.
I mean, they done everything. I mean, Kofi's already been world champion. You pretty much gave Xavier Woods the king of the ring.
Yeah.
And you didn't do nothing with it after that. So, yeah, it's time. But if they're going to do it, they need to do it right.
Right.
Really, you could break them up. You could break them up without them turning on each other. This if they lose a match, they got to break up.
There you go.
And you can end it on a good note. And just one go to Raw, one go to SmackDown.
Exactly.
And we talking about a Capital Combat 90. What were your thoughts on the 90 seconds we got a RoboCop? Even though the whole thing was about RoboCop.
Yeah, I understand they were trying to promote the movie. I get that. We see that all the time.
And mind you, this was RoboCop 2.
RoboCop 2, right.
And mind you again, the person that was in the suit, he couldn't do much.
No.
He couldn't punch, he couldn't kick, he couldn't go up there. He couldn't barely move anything. So what we got is what he can do.
Yeah, he just all he did was tear the bars off the stage, and that was it.
And then his suit was falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he couldn't do. He could not do nothing in that suit.
No.
But the whole thing was Capcom and the return of RoboCop.
RoboCop. It should have been like, not the return, but they could have called it, not return of RoboCop, but like, I don't know.
I mean, they could have pushed it. They could have been sponsored by RoboCop 2 and have him.
There you go.
And have him, come in as a surprise appearance by RoboCop.
Right.
So they kind of failed on that one, but another good question. Do you think changing Captain Mike Rotunda from the wrestling captain to the boat captain was a rib?
Yeah, I think so. Cause think about that. That was a rib 100%. Think about it. He was captain, like you the captain of the wrestling team. Now what's this now? He's the captain. He's a boat captain now.
Yes.
What's going on?
I was like,
really?
I was like, no. I was not feeling that at all.
No.
I'm like, if that's the case, where Isaac at?
That's like what they did, the same thing they did with Dr. Death when they gave him that stethoscope, remember?
Yes.
They gave him a stethoscope and that little that shroud that they wear, the doctors be wearing.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It made him look all goofy looking and everything. Yeah. No.
Let's see, where we at? What are your thoughts on AJ Styles and Io Sky returning to Japan? Now, before you answer that, let's explain to the people. I believe it's in July. Io Sky is going to go to the Marigold promotion. And AJ Styles is going to go to Pro Wrestling Noah. This is going to go on the same night. They're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Hey man, look, I'm for it. You know, you see, because AJ, you know, he knows Japan very well, so that's nothing for him. So is Io. But the way they doing this now, you got, you know, that shows you your Triple H is open minded. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know there's a change literally in WWE right now. Now it's like Shayna going to, you know, Josh Barnett's promotion.
Yep.
And wrestling. So, and Shinsuke wrestling the Great Muta in his last match.
Yep.
So Triple H is open-minded. That's good. That's good for business, as he says.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and that lets you know he could bring talent from there to WWE if they want to sign. So yeah, it's a win-win. WWE is doing it the right way.
Exactly.
Giving the other company shine.
Because Vince McMahon would never pull the trigger on that.
He would never done that. No. Everybody was competition to him. Even the little shows.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Mm-hmm.
Another what went wrong question. We should have made this the what went wrong show.
Yeah. Should have.
What went wrong with the new Midnight Express? Bob Holly and Bart Gunn.
You know, that was laughable when I saw that. Even though they two good wrestlers, it was just laughable to see that. And the names, don't get me started on the names. Bob Bassett, Bart, Bo Dixon's Bob. Think that's what it was?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your sweet stands and your beautiful Bobby. See, that makes sense. And Loverboy Dennis's, that makes sense.
I said, you put the NWA tag titles on them, you break them up after Brawl for All.
Right.
They pretty much was Shotgun Saturday Night all the way.
They were all day long.
I said, then you lose the NWA tag titles to the Headbangers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you what went wrong. I didn't have a problem with them being the new Midnight Express. What went wrong is when Jim Cornette stopped rolling with them. When Jim Cornette had enough and just because that was the period when they was doing the NWA invasion.
Yeah.
When the Rock and Roll Express came through, he started managing them. Barry Windham turned. Jeff Jarrett won the North American title.
Yeah, because that still boggles my mind to see Jim Cornette managing his rival tag team. I said, wait a minute, what? I mean, I thought I'd never see the day
Right.
that Jim Cornette would manage the Rock and Roll Express. I was like, what?
They had something. I think it was just the wrong time. And like I said, had Jim Cornette, a couple of things they could have done. One, Jim Cornette could have stayed with him. Because Bobby Eaton gave him the blessing to do it. So, if Jim Cornette wasn't going to come, then you should have had Bobby Eaton or one of them come and be their manager. Have an original member there. Preferably, like I said, Bobby Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they had something. Like I said, if you was gonna keep a mid card, fine.
Right.
But because their whole thing was, okay, we're doing this NWA thing, and once that kind of faded, they faded. So like I said, when the Brawl for All came and just they fought each other,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole story was Bart didn't knock Bob Holly out,
Right.
but Bob Holly ended up getting the push,
Mm-hmm.
and Bart Gunn gets knocked out at WrestleMania. And let me address that for a second. I want somebody to explain to me how you gimmick that. Everybody told me he didn't really hit him hard. He didn't really hit him. They faked that. No.
What, Brawl for All?
When Butterbean fought Bart Gunn at WrestleMania,
Man, he nailed him.
I want somebody to explain to me how that was
He know how to
possible.
fall.
That-
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me they rehearsed and he told Butterbean to hit him as hard as he could?
You don't play boxing. That's one thing you don't do.
You don't play boxing. You don't play getting knocked the hell out that hard.
Right.
Because after that, we didn't see Bart Gunn none after that. And then he went to Japan for a while. We didn't see none after that.
Yep, that was it. Yep.
That was a setup for failure. And it's like they told him. He made the mistake of trying to train to be a boxer instead of just being a wrestler and start working on takedowns. And Butterbean even told him, don't train to box me.
Mm-hmm.
And look how quick he got knocked the hell out. He got knocked out. He got knocked out so hard he didn't know if he was bodacious, bombastic, or a smoking gun.
Right. And I put them as one of my top 5 knockouts ever. It ain't got to be no legit boxers fighting. I'm talking about knockouts. Cause he was gone. After he got hit, you talking about sent to the shadow realm. That was it right there.
Like I said, he should have followed Butterbean's advice. Focus on the takedowns. Wrestle him.
Yep.
But no, you want to be a boxer. No. Regardless of how Butterbean look or whatnot, he's still a boxer. And your head pretty much almost came off your shoulders.
Your shoulders, yes. For real.
You probably woke up. You probably was in Japan when you woke up.
Right.
And our final question of the night. Was Ricky Steamboat a convincing NWA World Heavyweight Champion?
I can remember, of course he was. He was the ultimate good guy. And, he went up against the ultimate bad guy. Ric Flair.
There it is. That's the only reason that made that work.
You had the family man, versus the man that talked about his suits and limousines and women and stuff like that. That was perfect.
Yep.
The ultimate good guy, ultimate bad guy. Steamboat beat Flair for that belt. The crowd went nuts for that.
And the series of matches they had.
Yep, you had the Chi-Town Rumble. You had the controversy in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Yep.
And then you had their final match at WrestleMania 89 when Ric Flair won it back. The trilogy, as I call it.
And all three of them were good.
Yep. All 3 was good.
And they wasn't no short man. They were all lengthy.
Right, because that second match, that was at the Clash of Champions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of them. And like I said, that's one of them. That's one of them matches you had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Watching on TV is one thing. I wasn't there for it, but watching on TV was one thing. Just like the No Mas fight.
The action there.
Just like the
Yeah.
No Mas fight. You had to be there
Mhm.
to really
Right.
get the feeling of it. Like I said, I wasn't at the Clash for that.
Mhm.
But that second match really set it off.
Right.
But there you go. Good
Those
job.
Good questions, y'all. Let me
Uh,
tell y'all something, man. Y'all really did it tonight.
Yes, y'all did. And we appreciate that. Also appreciate the comments that we've been getting on YouTube. So definitely appreciate that. Keep supporting. Before we roll out, as always, you guys want to leave us with something.
Yeah, there was also a bonus question for you and me too. Let's see. Yeah, here it is right here. He said, "Bad Superman, Notorious One, how y'all doing?" I want to ask y'all this question. The Post Malone and Friends pack is out next week for WWE 2K24. I wanted to get y'all thoughts on who was in it, what our thoughts and what you think of pretty much what we think of. Of course, you got Post Malone, you got Sensational Sherry, you got the Headbangers, you got Jimmy Hart as a manager, and you got the Honky Tonk Man. And he wanted to know what our thoughts on this pack.
I'm glad the Honky Tonk Man in it.
Yeah, and matter of fact, they got his interest in right now on YouTube with Jimmy Hart walking with it.
I knew it. That's what I said. They got the Honky.
This is late 80s here.
Yeah.
Late 80s honky. Mm-hmm. It's late 80s honky.
Hold on one second. Let me see what this is. But yeah, that I almost forgot that was coming out next week. But yeah, I just want the Honky Tonk Man. All the rest, nah.
Well, Sensational Sherry?
Oh yeah, forgot about Sensational Sherry, but like Post Malone.
The Headbangers? Marshall Thrasher?
Well, I gotta see which version are we getting. Are we gonna get the ones where they had the Headbanger shirts, or are we gonna get the one where they was wearing all that dominatrix stuff?
I think we gonna get the head. I'm talking about the first version of the Headbangers with the shirts, and they doing all that dancing and spinning in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna get them. And Sensational Sherry, kind of interested in which version of her we gonna get. Are we gonna get like the mid to late 80s version? Or we gonna give her a super early version like AWA Sherry?
Yeah. I have a feeling we probably gonna get Scary Sherry.
We gonna get Scary Sherry, okay. I believe so too.
I have a feeling we gonna get Sensational Queenish when she started wearing all the makeup.
Yeah, she will be a wrestler on here.
So,
she ain't a manager.
So we probably gonna get that version.
And then Post Malone, they showed a picture of him on Twitter.
He's looking like
Actually look decent.
Kind of look like a Samoa Joe starter kit.
Right. Got the green shorts. Got Malone on the belt, on the little lining of his tights or whatever. Got a towel over his neck.
That's what I said. It's a Samoa Joe starter kit.
Samoa Joe starter kit.
And that comes out what, on the 26th?
Yeah, that is next Wednesday. It's coming Wednesday.
So y'all get ready.
Yeah, he wanted to know what our thoughts of it, was. And the next one after that will be the Pat McAfee pack. That'll be pretty much his co-host on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, I might say, and that definitely, and Pat McAfee's fine. But the rest of them,
and then after that will be the one with Jay Cargill come in, then Nia Jax. And then the last one will be the WCW pack will be in November. Got Iron Sheik and Mr. Perfect and Luger, the Great Muta, which I cannot wait to see what he looks like.
And I hope it's the old school Muta.
Talking about the 80s Muta,
yes.
the Gary Hart Muta.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With the red face paint or the green face paint. Do not,
Right.
and I have this feel. I hope they don't do this. I hope we don't get NWO Muda.
No, we're not getting him. I'll be cool with the early 90s movie.
Yeah, I want that. I want that Pearl of the Orient Muda.
Early, yeah, there you go. The long-haired movie, yeah.
That's what I want. I want
Mm-hmm.
to do that moonsault. Do that. See the elbow. The elbow could be the signature. That snap elbow he do.
Yep.
That elbow could be the finish, and the moonsault could be the no. The elbow could be the signature. The moonsault be the finisher.
And then the other signature could be the miss.
That could be one of them. Be one of the and you press R2 and down, or R2 and left or right. But you got to probably do it without getting caught, because they'll probably make it a DQ move.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you throw the fire and all that.
Yeah, because, Oscar does that on the game. You should do it, but, it's not a DQ, though.
So I just want to see how they gonna do that. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that. That's when they get good after the Pat McAfee pack.
So I hope they get that right. But other than that, y'all, we're gonna get y'all out of here. Get y'all weekend started. If you are in the Memphis area, Saturday at the Redbird games, we're gonna have some Memphis wrestling before the game. Former WWE star Enzo is gonna be there. Then the next day at the Memphis Wrestling Studio, don't have the information in front of me, but you can look it up on Memphis Wrestling. You can look at it on their Facebook page. You're gonna get Enzo and the TNA Digital Media Champion AJ Francis, so he's coming back, and he'll be defending the title.
That's one thing I can say about Memphis Wrestling. See, that's another one. They defending, their titles, the other company's titles in their promotion. A lot of folks need to do that.
So if y'all want to get any information on that, just Google Memphis Wrestling. You got Facebook, do a search. Like I said, I apologize, I don't have the information in front of me. But like I said, prior to the Redbirds game, you can go on in. They'll be right outside the gate, so you probably can check that out for free. I think that starts around 5:30. Then the gates open at 6:30.
6:30, yeah.
So get you a quick show if you just happen to be out in that area, and then that following Sunday, you can do the Memphis Wrestling Show. They're all VIP packages, from what I understand, so you can get pictures, autographs, meet and greets, and whatnot. So definitely go in and support that. But as always, continue to support Bad Superman TV right here on YouTube, Rumble, and all of the social media platforms. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to stop it right there. Y'all enjoying y'all weekend. Y'all be safe. We out.